So, day 3 now of the Love Your Neighbour run, 90 miles in 6 days. On this day, I'm running from Wareham round through Litchfield. I've just come through there, Upton, Wimborne, and then through Moores Valley, over in the end, hopefully for Ringwood. It's a long day, 37 kilometres. You know, it's quite a long way, that, getting on for a marathon distance. So I'm about a quarter of the way through, and I hadn't filmed so far because it's been on roads, a bit boring. But I've hit a trail now, so it's a bit more interesting. To be honest, I'm feeling a bit demoralised because I'd been running away and thought I'd gone further than I have. But when you check your watch, you find out, you're still only a quarter of the way through. It's a bit demoralising. Anyway, I thought I'll stop. I'll have something to eat, put another layer on so I don't get cold while I'm doing this. So it's a good moment to regroup. And so this is the weekday word. I realised I didn't pray the Lord's Prayer yesterday, so apologies about that. I will pray that in a moment. I'm praying as I run around this kind of Bournemouth Christchurch Pool loop. If you haven't already given to that Love Your Neighbour Hub Fund, you can do so through the Lovechurch website. And if you're a regular member of Lovechurch, that's where you can set up your regular giving into the general fund as well, which is absolutely necessary, and we very much need it, and everyone who's part of the church kind of has some part to play in that. The amount's not important, but the regular giving really is. So today, before leaving, I was at staff meeting this morning, and I shared with them my thought about from Galatians 5 verse 24, I think it is, thereabouts, 24-25, that we must keep in step with the Spirit. And this time of year, when we're getting back to term or back to work after the summer holidays, perhaps back to school, back to university, in church, all the church programs are starting up, all the ministries, it's very, I hope that sounds okay, just got a bit of wind here. Hope that it's very easy to get into this trap of the outward Christian life and all our energy going into that, and then less energy into the inner spiritual life. And we need to keep in step with the Spirit as we're running at full on at whatever God has you running at. We're to keep in step with the Spirit. There's a spiritual timing issue that Paul talks about, to keep in step with the Spirit. Of course, to do that, we need to be hearing from the Spirit. And I was sharing with the staff the importance of the daily quiet time. I hope, if you're listening to this and maybe you've never tried doing a daily quiet time with God, you read the Bible and pray. It's dead simple. There's all kinds of apps and books and everything that will help, but there's nothing like just open the Bible to your favourite bit or a bit that's spoken to you, read a few verses and pray through it. Listen to the Lord. Spend time with Him every day. I do it in the morning, but I guess some people do it in the evening as well, or instead. And, it's that hearing from the Lord. These are the gifts of the Spirit that Paul speaks about. We're not just to keep in step with the Spirit, we're to pursue the gifts of the Spirit. Paul says, eagerly desire the gifts of the Spirit, especially prophecy. He says, in order that we might know how the Lord's directing us. We'd have that sensitivity to what the Lord's instruction is and guidance for us. We'd be able to encourage one another, comfort one another in the Spirit. So we all need to cultivate this inner spiritual life, even as we go for it in ministry. Of course, I'm going to switch hands because this hand is getting tired holding it. Of course, as we keep in step with the Spirit, we develop the gifts of the Spirit. All that really relies on the character of the Spirit. And that's why in Galatians 5, Paul lists out the fruit of the Spirit that are character traits: love, joy, peace, patience, kindness, goodness, gentleness, faithfulness, self-control. These are character traits. When Paul tells us to desire the gifts of the Spirit, actually that verse begins, follow the way of love and eagerly desire the gifts of the Spirit. And in the end, that character based on God's love for us, that's what will show. And you know, we all need to work on that a bit, don't we? So maybe in your run today, your walk today, we can cultivate those spiritual disciplines, those habits, so that we can stay in step with the Spirit, we can develop and grow the gifts of the Spirit, and we can keep working on the character of the Spirit. So should we pray and pray for that? Lord, just doing this run, I pray for the work of the love you're